everybody and welcome to the channel. It's been quite a while, like a year or something, since I have posted a video. And for those who had followed along, you may have noticed I disappeared for about a year. I actually pulled away for about a year because a lot has changed since then, including the name of the channel. So this was once called The Joy of Finding Myself, and now it's called Creatively Retired. Today I wanted to share with you why I made the change, what I've been doing, and what can you expect from this channel moving forward. And that's Cosmo in the background making grunting noises. Here's my little puppy Chihuahua, or our little puppy Chihuahua. Yeah, I originally started the channel and it was a very personal journey for me, and it was quite emotional. If you go back on the recent videos, and there's sort of there's Cosmo. Say hello. Say hello. If you go back onto the first videos, you'll be able to see the difference between the thumbnails and that. They were very personal, and I did let a lot of myself and my self-discovery out in them, and part of it was so I could work through questions and what I was feeling at the time. My husband had gone off for 8 months, and I wanted to use that 8 months. He'd gone off on a trip, and I wanted to use that 8 months to really work out what I wanted in life and where I was. So I really had a bit personal journey. I pulled away from that when just life got in the way, basically. And we were having work done on the property, and they were making a lot of noise, and it just required a lot of my time. I was also with 2 charities, so I was out, I think it was about 3 days a week. I was with charities. I didn't have him then, and I was living in a caravan. So anyhow, life got in the way. Like many people, I found myself in different directions. We were traveling. Well, at that stage I was stationary, he was traveling. I was working on projects, meaning around the house and everything, and volunteer work. And to be honest, I wasn't completely sure. I wanted to know I wasn't completely sure where the channel was going to go. So rather than continue without direction, I stepped away and gave myself time to think about what I really wanted in the channel and what I wanted to become. So I still wanted the channel to be there. I just thought it was not heading where I wanted it to go. So I shared my personal journey with you, but now I wanted to sort of share what I discovered. So why for the name change? Well, the more I thought about the channel and me and what I'd already just worked through, both personally and on the previous channel, I realized that I was finding myself, but that wasn't the whole story. Today my life looks very different. I am retired. I was retired in the first videos. I spend time creating. Well, now I'm in a house, so I can actually, I suppose, accumulate more. I do spend more time creating and making things. I do love baking in my kitchen. My kitchen is fantastic, and I bought new pots and pans and stuff like that. So I've got more stuff. I do like learning, so I like learning new techniques and new projects and stuff. And I've started a new business. I'll tell you about that later. I collect ideas, so I want to try out different ideas, and I like trying new things, obviously. And occasionally, well, more than occasionally, I make mistakes. Everybody does. But that's the fun part of learning something new. I'm going to get jumped on. Do you mind? Anyway, so it came to me that really I'm creative. Always have been, actually. Always have been. I actually taught craft classes to elderly people once, and you know, I always had the kids involved, even when they were really young, with crafts and that. So I've always been creative. That's where the name changed to Creative Retired, because I'm retired, honestly, and I'm 50. What am I now? 50. Oh, gee. I was born in 67, so I'm 59 this year. Oh, am I 59 this year? Yep, I'm 59 this year. All right, there. That's what happens when you get retired. You don't want to know your age. So I'm 59 this year, so I'm retired. What has retirement really been like? Well, let me be honest here. Well, I'm always being honest, but when I first imagined retirement, when we had our shop and we were thinking about retiring, I pictured us traveling in our caravan, because we were living in our caravan full time. We had been living in our caravan for a couple of years prior to selling our shop, because we were waiting for the shop to sell. And we knew we were going to travel Australia. So we sold up everything, which was a lot to sell. And we moved into a caravan, and we were living in the caravan for at least 2 years, maybe 3, before we set off and started traveling. Well, I've got spinal bifida, so I have back issues and that, and it had actually got worse over those couple of years that we were waiting to leave. I wish we had left 2 years prior. And then I did a herniated disc, and that was to top it off. And for the 6 months we were away, I was in so much pain. Literally, I would scream the caravan down at times. Just with a simple movement was enough to send me in so much pain. It was getting unbearable. I couldn't sleep. I definitely couldn't sleep in the bed. We've got recliners in the caravan. I couldn't walk anywhere. I had a walking stick. It was not enjoyable the way it should have been. There was times when it was, but most of the time I was in pain for the whole time. So retirement was not having fun, going for long walks, and my health got in the way, and unfortunately we ended up coming back from the trip, and I just said I needed some time. I needed to be based here, so we actually have now based in a house here. The other thing is I found that when I was away, I had no purpose. I'm not the type of person to sit around on a beach. I mean, I'm so pale. I just don't sit on the beach. I would burn. I'm not the type of person to just sit and chat and drink, because I don't drink. Our social skills was basically talking to customers in our shop. We had a shop and was talking to customers. So as far as friends go, we didn't socialize with friends. You can't socialize friends when you've got a shop. You're literally 24/7. Whether you're working in it or when you own something like that, you're 24/7. So we didn't have friends. And even family events were kept to a minimum, because we just couldn't go to a lot of places, or we were too exhausted to go. And that and added thing with me being in so much pain and stuff, I didn't want to go places. To walk sometimes was really bad. So retirement was nothing like what we thought. Now, so I lost my purpose because we sold our shop. I had none of my creativity. I'd sold all my stuff. I mean, I'm a cake decorator. I'm used to using my hands and that. I'm used to making stuff. I'm used to creating stuff, and I'm in a caravan. Even baking was limited. We made bread, but as far as baking, you're limited to your water. We did a lot of off-grid camping. You're limited to your water. Nothing turned out like it is. So one of the challenges was that I didn't have any goals. I didn't have anything that was going to inspire me. I didn't want to just sit around and waste time. And I felt like when I was traveling, I was wasting time. I'm not near the end of my life. I'm not going to die tomorrow, hopefully. I've got, obviously, if I'm nearly 60, I could have up to 40 years left. So I'm like a third of the way through my life. But I want to use it. I want to use as much as I can. I've now got the chance to do things. I've got the chance to try new things, learn new things. And that's basically why this channel exists, because I want to be creative. I want to do things when I'm retired. I want to go out and garden. I mean, I can only do things in a short amount of time, and I can only do a little bit at a time, but I want to garden, even if it's for 5 minutes. I want to bake, even if it takes me the whole day to do the baking. I want to do that sort of stuff. I want to sit down and I want to do my crafts. I want to make journals and do my knitting and all this sort of stuff. That's just who I am. So this is why I want to retire. This is me. I still love the traveling, but I take with me my knitting, or I take with me my journal. I definitely take with me my journaling. I journal every day, but this is part of what retirement's been like. It's been a bit of a it's been a bit of an up and down, like a roller coaster, emotionally, physically, definitely, and nothing like what I expected. I'll briefly go over what you'll see in the channel. You'll see craft projects, junk journaling. Yes, I've got into junk journaling. Vintage treasures. I love op shopping. My husband, I love op shopping. Knitted dogs. I do knitted dogs. Baking and recipes. I have got a cupboard full of recipes I want to try out. I've marked all the pages. I've got a book that was my husband's, husband's mother, who was he's a New Zealander. She's since passed, and I want to try those recipes, which is going to be really interesting considering I don't even know what some of the food looks like. I'm building a new website. It's called Little Aussie Joys. So that's Little Aussie Joys, and .com.au if you're in Australia. And it will have all the stuff that I make personally, my mum makes and my dad makes. So it's a little bit of a family affair there. I'm going to have, down the track, I'm going to have my husband's photographing on it because he does a lot of photography work. And I have got a shop part in there, supplies for junk journaling and stuff like that. So I think we've got about 2,000 items at the moment. If you're watching this video and it's before the 1st of July, you won't be able to purchase anything. They'll have a disclaimer on there that you can't purchase anything because it hasn't been tested yet. So, and we're still loading products on. And anyhow, I'll talk more about that later. I'm going to talk about the ups and downs of retirement, finding purpose and staying motivated, real life experiences along the way. So basically a lot of things, and traveling, of course, because we're still going to be traveling. I don't know if we're traveling anymore this year. We might go away, but anyway, we'll talk about that. So for me, this is a new beginning. The change in name and starting to film again, which I'm really out of practice of filming, and it's hard to get started, so I could ramble a lot here. There might be a lot of editing going on here. So if you see me move my head everywhere, it's probably because I've edited it out. Okay. If you're retired or approaching retirement, love creativity or watching people who are creative, enjoy just a real life conversation. Let's get down to the nitty gritties here. I really love to have you on this journey. Okay, so let me know in the comments below, as I like this channel to be interactive. I'd like to be able to have conversations with people, and hopefully eventually if it hits off, we'll go live. That's probably down the track. Anyhow, I want to know, if you're already retired, what's the biggest surprise that you've had since you've been retired? Or if you're about to retire, what are you looking forward to doing? What are you looking forward to about retirement? Meanwhile, I want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.